As a kid, I used to dream about the ocean. It was a wild place full of color and life. I pictured sharks ruling over the food chain and turtles paddling through reefs and seagrass. As a marine biologist turned photographer, I've spent most of my career looking for these places I used to dream about when I was little. In my lifetime, though, modern technology has allowed fishing fleets to travel further and fish deeper. We've degraded the health of the ocean in a very short period of time. Are there really any sanctuaries left that haven't been trawled or long-lined into history? In my search for this underwater holy grail, most of my leads turned out to be fruitless. All that changed, though, when I traveled to the middle of the Mozambique Channel to photograph a story for National Geographic Magazine. Bassas, India and Europa, two remote atolls that are poignant reminders of what the Indian Ocean looked like hundreds of years ago. Europa's lagoon is a mangrove sanctuary, which I was only allowed to explore by kayak. Here, the tangled roots make the perfect safe haven for sharks and reef fish. But what I was really there for was the turtles. Europa is the most important mating and nesting ground for green turtles in the Indian Ocean, and photographing them was a lesson in patience and persistence. Spotting turtles at the surface is easy, but getting close to them underwater is a different story. There was only one mating pair out of about 100 that allowed me to get close enough to get the shots I needed. If Europa is the kingdom of the turtle, then Bassas, India is the realm of the shark. Large adults patrol the deep, and the shallow lagoon serves as a nursery ground for juveniles. This atoll is young. There are no mangroves, no beaches, and it virtually disappears at high tide. The isolated vastness and lack of dry land makes Bassas an intimidating place. I had a hunch that the sharks I saw during the day were only a fraction of what was there, so I returned at night to photograph them in their true abundance. The moon just wasn't bright enough to illuminate the reef, so I used a studio light to cut through the darkness. And that's when things began to happen. Like moths to a flame, the sharks emerged from below. As I descended, the sharks followed me to the reef, waltzing in and out of the light. It's moments like these that remind me why I chose this path. My work is about literally bringing images to the surface so anyone can see them. It's never been easy, but it's always been a gift. When I think about how much we've taxed our oceans, it's fairly easy to sink into despair. But whenever I start to feel overwhelmed, nature taps me on the shoulder and reminds me of the wonders that still grace our seas. Photographing the marine realms of these two atolls was like traveling back in time, and was a journey I will never forget.